So you want to cook something fancy. Maybe you want to blow someone's mind. Maybe you cook a meat that's tender, moist, and full of flavor. You don't want to spend a lot of money, but you want it to look like you spent a lot of money. Let me introduce you to the pork loin rib and roast. This baby is amazing, but we have to do some stuff to it first. And we're going to start the night before we want to cook it. First, we're going to remove the silver skin. That's a membrane on the inside of the rib. The easiest way to do this is with a knife and a paper towel. Make sure to wash your hands before and after handling raw meat. Now we're going to French the ribs. This is the sirloin and this is the tenderloin. When we French the ribs, we want to be careful not to cut the tenderloin. Start by making a horizontal incision between the ribs. Now cut down the incision and remove the meat. The easiest way is to scrape the bone. Next, remove the chine bones. They should be right next to the ribs. If you cut right between the ribs, then you would have pork chops. You will need a vacuum sealer. You have to make a vacuum seal bag so that you can seal your pork roast over the night. Once this light comes off, you unflick the switch, open it up, and the bag has to be bigger than your pork roast. Then you wouldn't, but for ours you push it down and you go across, and then you got your vacuum seal bag. Our dry rub is made out of half a teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of all of these, black pepper, onion powder, oregano, salt, and 2 teaspoons of ground mustard. Oh, and I forgot, it has 1 teaspoon of cumin in it. Oh, and 1 teaspoon of thyme too. Now we're gonna add our dry rub. It should look just like this, all covered in dry powder. Boom! Our bag is about 1 foot long so that we have extra space to vacuum seal it. Vacuum seal your bag and put it in the refrigerator overnight. This is really loud. And so am I. Is it ready? Now it is.
Wait.
Now seal?
Wait.
What?
Now it's ready.
Unlock it. Ah! It's very hot and also very smushy, so be careful. This vacuum seal really took all the air out of this. I mean literally all the air. This is gonna force the meat to suck in all its flavor. Then put it into your refrigerator in your meat compartment, and then we'll cook it tomorrow. Ta-da! For this next phase, we're gonna need a cast iron pot, a pound of carrots, 2 onions, vegetable oil, white wine, beef broth, and your pork. And me! Braising is to sear a meat or a vegetable in some kind of fat. Then cook it slowly in a covered pot at a simmer. That's why A Dutch oven or cast iron pot are perfect for this. It's all in one. First we're gonna sear the meat outside. We're doing it outside because we want the pot to get really, really hot, and it's gonna smell and it's gonna let out a lot of smoke. First, add 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil. You can tell when the meat is ready when it starts to pop and sizzle. You have to brown it on all sides. What we're doing is we're caramelizing the meat. And that means that we're making it taste better. This smells really good and looks delicious, but it's raw inside, so we have to simmer it. We removed the meat and then dumped out the excess fat. Now we are going to deglaze with 1 cup of beef broth and 1 cup of white wine. Put the meat back in, put it to a simmer, and then bring it back inside. We roughly cut our onions into big pieces because when we put them in, they're going to cook down anyways. We have a rustic chunk on the carrots because we want them to stay big and chunky. Simmer your meat for a little while with the lid off so that the alcohol can burn out of the meat. Set your oven to 350 degrees and then dump your onions and carrots into your cast iron pot. Then put the lid on and then stick it into the oven for 2 hours. Check it in a couple of minutes to see that it's still simmering, just for a little bit of bubbles. When you open it up after 2 hours, make sure you be extra careful because it is really hot and heavy and it's cast iron. This is our rib end roast. It has some onions on the top and a carrot, and then it has our rib end roast in the middle. And then as you can see, there's a bunch of carrots around. And just like I said, I can see that on the sides, right at the very bottom, there's like little pieces of onion. When you take it out, you have some choices. Most people just cut them up from there and make it pork chops. This is what it should look like. All of this, a beautiful plate of food. If you want to use this recipe, then you're going to have to cook it at about 3 o'clock so that you can eat around 5:30 or 6. And make sure you plan ahead. Man, this stove is awesome! I have a bone. Make sure to like, subscribe, and leave comments down below. Oh, and don't forget to tune in for my other cooking videos. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.